approaches. It envisions a future where higher education institutions not only preserve the strengths of conventional learning but also integrate the flexibility, inclusivity, and innovation offered by digital modes. Similarly, initiatives under Digital India have sought to create an ecosystem where access to knowledge is democratized and made available to learners across geography, socioeconomic strata, and linguistic diversity. Yet, as we celebrate these opportunities, we must also be conscious of the challenges. Issues such as the digital divide between rural and urban learners, questions of quality assurance, academic integrity, and the readiness of teachers and students alike must be also addressed. This faculty development program provides us with a valuable platform to deliberate on these opportunities and challenges. Over the coming days, I'm confident that the rich insights of our esteemed resource persons and the active engagement of all the participants will lead to meaningful discussions and practical takeaways. Together, we can imagine a future where technology complements tradition, where innovation supports inclusion, and where our institutions emerge more resilient and future ready. On behalf of the organizing team of the Department of Management Studies, Salesian College, Autonomous Siliguri, I extend my sincere gratitude to all our distinguished speakers, participants, and colleagues for your presence and contribution. Let us carry forward this spirit of open dialogue and collaborative learning so that the outcome of this FDP inspire positive change in higher education across our nation and beyond. With these few words, I warmly welcome all of you and wish this program a great success ahead. Now, I would like to begin our respected Vice Principal, Father Jagjivan Tirki, Vice Principal, Deanery of Commerce and Management Studies, to initiate the program with his opening invocation and prayer, along with a short message for all of us.
Oh, Father, you need to unmute yourself. Father, please unmute. You are muted, Father. Patrick, could you unmute? I think host can.
Hello.
Yes, Father, you are audible now. You can begin, Father.
Sorry.
Yes.
A warm good evening to all the esteemed faculty members from various universities and colleges, dedicated researchers, and our bright UG and PG students and scholars. Let us ask God's blessing, especially this 6 days of journey where we make ourselves available and we learn. As we log in from various locations to commence this 6 days faculty development program, let us take a collective moment to set our intention for the journey ahead. We have gathered online for a purpose to deeply understand the impact of online courses on the conventional system in the domain of higher education in India, its opportunities and challenges. We pray for open and discerning minds to analyze this critical shift. Grant us the wisdom to see not just the challenges, but also the immense opportunities that lies before us. May we observe insights that will help us bridge the gap between traditional and digital learning. Over these 6 days, bless our discussions and interactions, though we meet through screens. May we build a strong community of thought, fostering respect, collaboration, and a genuine desire to enhance the future of Indian education. We ask for focus and perseverance for every participant, speakers, and organizers involved in this online endeavor. May the knowledge gained here not just remain with us, but trickle down to positively impact every classroom and every student we guide. We dedicate this FDP to meaningful learning, progressive ideas, and collective betterment of our education landscapes. May our time together be insightful, productive, and truly transformative. Amen.
Thank you, Father, for your prayer. May I now invite Mr. Anirban Ghosh, Dean, Commerce and Management Studies, Salesian College Autonomous, Siliguri, and coordinator of the FDP to deliver his opening remarks, especially focusing on the objectives of our FDP.
Thank you, Devarati ma'am. Good evening, Reverend Father Principal. Good evening, Reverend Father Bursar, Professor Glenn, our HOD, Madam Devarati Deb, and all our departmental colleagues who have supported us in this. And a very special evening, good evening to all our participants, professors, scholars, and students for joining us in this 6-day long faculty development program. I welcome you all on behalf of Salesian College Autonomous, the Department of Management Studies. Before I begin, I would like to also apologize to all of you for the technical snag we had yesterday and therefore a day's delay that took place in starting this program. Nevertheless, with the enthusiastic effort of our HOD and support from the management, Father Principal and Father Bursar, we are able to have this faculty development program. Therefore, I once again welcome you all. Given the topic that we have in hand and the objectives, it gives me immense pleasure to state in front of all of us that for us, Salesian College, this online methodology of teaching, learning is not something that we began during the COVID period or thereafter, as the focus is now much on online way of teaching and learning. But much before that, when we somehow began to understand the effects, the changes that the educational field was going to see in the near future, and therefore much before COVID began, we did undergo certain programs and training for online teaching and learning. And my colleague Patrick is here. He would agree to the fact that yes, when many of institutions near us and in our cities and neighboring towns did not know about these aspects, we were already learning the techniques in Moodle, and we were conducting quiz and examinations, assignments, and providing notes and study materials to the student. So therefore this is something which we are somewhat in a better position, if I may say so, that we have been accustomed to this method of learning and teaching. And after COVID, the situation was such that, in fact, just during the COVID, that we took it very quickly. Within a day's time, we started online teaching and learning for the students, and therefore we did not miss out on classes. On the other hand, we know of various colleges and universities that did take some time to adopt to this methodology. Therefore, I think it is rightly that we are being given this opportunity to have this particular FDP, online FDP. And to talk about the objectives, as I was going through the proposal, I saw the first one states that examining the growth and status of online courses in India higher education. Yes, with the focus of the government and higher education, that the various methodologies that are being propounded in the online method of teaching and learning that we see through the SWAYAM, NPTEL, and MOOC, and more as we go through such programs, it is emphasized by the government as well that yes, this is also a new methodology, and in the future this is going to be, because you see today's time is such that yes, we are qualified people, all of us here, but the students may gain the knowledge that we provide in the classrooms through various online methods. It's not that it's that we are not indispensable anymore. In fact, the YouTube materials that they're available, wonderful professors from all over the world are available. Just click up a button, and therefore this is what the students are now going to be habituated with. But yet there is a huge gap between institutions that are taking up this kind of modern methodologies, processes, come vis-a-vis institutions who are trying to still struggle, or sometimes due to lack of funds. There are some institutions really finding it difficult, institutions that are in remote areas that are finding it difficult, because of network issues and other such complications. So therefore this is something which even if we the challenges are there, but we cannot say that this is something of the past. It is going to be our technique and methodology in the future, and therefore we need to understand and learn and collaborate in this area. The understanding the implications of online education vis-a-vis conventional academic process, the second objective that we have. Yes, there we also have seen this basic challenge of somewhat the traditional method of learning, in the classroom, chalk and board method, notes, discussion. Suddenly there is a boom of online education, and therefore a section of us, the faculty members, do find it difficult, because as we are not always on, everybody is not always very conversant with the online method of teaching and learning, the usage, the technical usage of the whole system, documenting, and all of that that comes along with this process. And therefore this training may be, as well as various other trainings that are going on all over the places. And therefore I would like to emphasize here that again we see that there is a disparity, there is a gap between various institutions all over our country, where some are able to adapt to these changes and some are not, vis-a-vis also the fact that some the traditionally teaching methodologies which are convenient for the faculty members are being made pushed or challenged to take up this new methodology of teaching and learning. The third aspect of exploring opportunities for institutional collaboration is something which is very beautiful in this objective of ours. And we can see that we ourselves are conducting this FDP, and over 110 115 of us are joining from various parts of the country and abroad. And therefore there is already a collaboration that we have begun with. And if I may say so, our institution, we are already having various collaborations. We are taking sometimes classes or sessions, even one or so, in an online method. So this may be in a very smaller way, but in the future this can be utilized and developed into a much bigger collaborative functioning, where we can have maybe some programs, classes, guest lectures, and a variety of other projects through online methodology. And therefore the other one that is mentioned here is identify and address the key challenges in integrating online education with traditional system. That is somewhat I gave a couple of points of the challenges we are facing. Of course the primary always being network issues, the infrastructural issues are there, and also a certain to some extent the cost factor is also there. And therefore we do know that all institutions and are not able to adapt it very quickly, and therefore the ultimate losses of the students, our the ones for whom we are carrying all of this, the training is for them, so we can provide better education for them. And in this regard also the fact that there are many institutions even now which are somewhat into giving the education in to a greater extent, not necessarily the teaching learning, but to a greater extent the use of local languages are there, where again there is a challenge of this online methodology of teaching and learning, which is primarily based on the English language. So with this all of these challenges, and yet we see a ray of hope in the future, because from our perspectives, from our college's perspective, I can say that when we started it was a difficult phase, and today we are very very conveniently placed. Our examinations are held in this method. All of in fact most of our educational processes methodology are in the online method. Though the students are coming to college, but we have a software through which we are running all of this, and therefore this is going to be the future of education. And we do not know, with the advent of AI and the way it is going, what further challenges it may bring to us or changes it may bring to us. But all of us can agree to the fact that yes, we have to work together, and this is our future. And therefore I do hope that the deliberations within the next 6 days that we have in hand will bring out a lot of discussions, the queries, challenges, and benefit in this area, and I'm sure in the future with this collaboration we can move ahead and finally for the betterment of our students. So I conclude here, and I thank you all once again for joining,
Thank
and
you so
all of our
much, sir.
management and our departmental effort for this. Thank you very much and have a very fruitful 6 days of FDP. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now the time has come. Time has come to listen to our special address by our Reverend Father Dr. Babu Joseph, Principal, Salesian College, Autonomous, Siliguri. Father?
Am I audible?
Yes, Father, you are
Yeah,
audible.
okay. So thank you so much, Dr. Debharati Dev, and all the faculty members, distinguished guests, professors, these PG students joining from different parts of the world, as well as from different locations within the state. It is my joy to address you on this beautiful occasion of the FDP on the impact of online courses on the conventional system, the domains of higher education in India, opportunities and challenges. So the higher education in India is currently undergoing a profound transformation driven by rapid digitalization and the emergence of online learning platforms. The faculty development program on the impact of online courses on the conventional system in the domain of higher education in India, opportunities and challenges, seeks to engage faculty members in a critical dialogue on this shift and its implementation for teaching, learning, and institutional growth. Online courses delivered through the platforms such as MOOC, SWAYAM, and MPTL and other global providers are redefining access, affordability, flexibility in education. They have opened up opportunities for students to pursue knowledge beyond geographical and institutional boundaries, while also enabling the teachers to innovate pedagogical practices. However, this transformation is not without challenges. Issues such as quality assurance, learner engagement, assessment mechanism, digital divide, and the integration of online content into the conventional curricula needs to be addressed with care. Through the interactive sessions, expert lectures, and collaborative discussions, this FDP aims to examine the growth and status of online courses in Indian higher education, understand the implication of the online education for conventional academic practices, explore opportunities for institutional collaborations, curriculum design, and learner engagement through online modes. Identify and address the key challenges in integrating online education within the traditional systems. Equip faculty with tools, frameworks, and pedagogical strategies to effectively blend online and conventional teaching. Salesian College Autonomous Sunada Siliguri had the experience of conducting online classes during COVID-19 pandemic. The experience equipped the faculty to conduct online classes effectively in spite of the various challenges. The engagement of students was assured by conducting online quizzes and assignments. Nowadays, the college is getting ready to conduct classes in a blended mode for some of the courses. The video lectures are being recorded and uploaded into the LMS. MOOCs and SWAYAM MPTL courses are also suggested for various programs which can be integrated into the curriculum. This FDP is thus envisioned as a platform for reflection and professional growth, equipping participants with the insights and tools necessary to balance innovation with tradition in Indian higher education. Thank you for your enthusiastic participation.
Thank you so much, Father. So, with Father's speech, we have come to the end of our inauguration session. Before we begin today's first session, that is the opening session of our FDP, I would like I would like to capture this moment with a photograph. For this, I request everyone to kindly open your camera so that we can take a photograph and capture the memory.
I request everyone to switch on your webcams and so that we can take the geotag picture for record's sake. Just give us a few more seconds. I'm waiting for others to switch on the camera.
Patrick sir, you can take 3 photographs. I think it is 3 slides sort of things are being shown, 3 displays are shown, so you can take 3 images. I hope you have geotag, sir.
Others also, because as the people switch on the camera, the images change. Okay, the arrangement of the images change. Everyone to switch on the camera, please. Still, many of them have not switched on the cameras, but we managed to take most of the pictures. I think we can continue now.
Okay, thank you, Patrick sir. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to all the participants for switching on the camera. All right, so now we shall begin with our first session. The speaker of this session is Mr. Peter Lepcha. Allow me to introduce him to all of you, and then we can hand over the session to Sir Peter Lepcha. Sir Peter Lepcha is the Assistant Professor, Department of English, Salesian College, Autonomous, Siliguri. He has his Masters in English and Education. He has been editorial assistant for peer-reviewed volumes of Salesian Journal of Humanities and Social Sciences and has participated and presented papers on various national and international conferences and webinars. He has been project assistant for 2 bamboo project grants by the United Board of Christian Higher Education in Asia, Hong Kong. His area of interests are apologetics, eco-theology, eco-poetics, eco-criticism, British and American poetry. He has been teaching in the UG Department of English in Salesian College over 16 years and in the PG Department of English over 9 years. He regularly conducts facilitation programs for faculty, high school teachers, church, youth groups, and parents for various themes on teaching pedagogy, navigating youthhood, and becoming hand-holding parents in the 21st century. He is a UB Fellow under 2025 to 2026 cohort. He has been awarded with Best Innovative Faculty Award 2021 by the All India Association of Christian Higher Education, New Delhi. We welcome you, sir, to this FDP. And, sir, the topic of this session will be design from syllabus to screen, designing outcome-based online courses. So, Sir Peter Lipta, the session is yours now. The screen is yours. The mic is yours. I will stop sharing my screen so that you can start yours.
Okay.
I think it is already shared.
Yes, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes. Yes,
Volume is little bit low, sir. I
yes.
think.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where we are. I would like to send the greetings of this beautiful day. And here in India, it is 6:40 p.m. by my system watch, and I'm glad that so many of our colleagues and friends from across the world have joined, and especially I see a lot of Indian friends joined today for this evening program. I'm extremely delighted to be part of this, and had Ma'am Devarati told me that I'm the opening batsman, I would have declined and gone to the second, but looks like I'm the one starting this thing. But at the same time, the firstborn, I think, comes with the privilege. So I would like to share this little thought that I picked up over the years as a teacher in the Department of English, both teaching in UG and as well as PG, and also accrued experience at various seminars, organization, and on my reading and little bit of research in this area. So first of all, I would like to thank at the very outset Father Dr. Babu Joseph, our principal, who has been the patron and instrumental in giving patronage to organize this program. To Ma'am Debarati, the program coordinator for organizing this program, the head of the Department of BBA, Management Studies, Tourism Studies in Salesian College, Mr. Anirban Ghosh, our Dean of Management Studies and Commerce, my colleagues, as well as all my colleagues across India and other parts of the world. The topic that I will be dealing today is from syllabus to screen, designing outcome-based online courses. Though it may sound, a topic sounds pretty compact, but at the same time, as I was preparing for it, I found it very, very difficult, because the kind of delivery we are requiring in these days, because of the challenges that has come to the faculty members, the few questions that we can ask to ourselves are we relevant at all as teachers, because we are on the onslaught of artificial intelligence. There is a fear of sorry, human beings being supplanted by AI. And then what is my role, what is our role? So among all of these questions that are hovering around us, we still need to deliver lessons online as well as offline. So what happens if we do this in the online? And there is one more corollary added: outcome based online courses. So let me go quickly to the objectives that are there for this presentation. As per the revised Bloom's taxonomy and outcome-based education, I've just given 4 objectives that I want to achieve at the end, because I'm the facilitator here. Number 1, I would like my listeners, the viewers, whoever across the world presently, to understand the foundations of the outcome-based education, and I would like to use hereinafter as OBE. Both in online as well as offline, we can interchangeably understand, but the primary focus will be on the online. And also be able to analyze global and Indian frameworks, and we'll talk about Washington Accord as well as the AICT's mandate of OB practices, because this is also the program that we're doing under ATAL, under AICTE. And the third objective is to evaluate the impact of changing the video and the screen consumption habits that we have presently among the student as well as faculty communities, the learning communities. And finally, how to design outcome-based online courses, structures, and what could be the instructional and assessment strategies? What are the challenges? How to mitigate that? So that will be my objectives as an instructor. I would like to keep it. And this is my expectation from the students, that at the end, the listeners, participants will be able to explain the principles, be able to compare and interpret global and Indian accreditation related to OBE, apply insights from digital learning trends to improve online practices, and finally be able to create an OBE based online pedagogy framework as well as the assessment methodology. Should you require to do it for your school, for your college, for university, or for any of the sessions. Let me get going. Now, we are in the screen culture, and this is the latest statistics as per Q1, Q2 2025 GWI database, that daily online globally is 6 hours 38 minutes per day on average. This is a latest data. No, that's a lot. If you have mobile phones with you, if you are an Android user or an iOS user, I think there is a weekly report we get of how long have we been using mobile phone and which particular app is consuming data, things like that is given. Another interesting data that we have here from 2023 and which is published in the year 2024, that the share of internet traffic, that is video, in all devices is 38%. YouTube remains the single most largest consuming platform that people consume. Plus minus 33 extra byte per day in 2023 was consumed by the total people around the world. I'm trying to point it out to facts and figures to understand that the video consumption, screen consumption, or something to do with our screens in terms of our interaction with the screens is increasing on a year-by-year basis, hour-by-hour basis. Mobile networks and video demands data at the end of 2024, 74% increase from the previous 10 years. That's a lot. And therefore also the data, mobile data in growth of the 5Gs, 80% is expected from 35% by the end of 2024 to 2030. This is the report from Ericsson. It's a projection, but the kind of demand that is coming is more. To place our situation, that online courses that we are offering either through LMS or through other platforms, what is the future? So that's going to be our situation. Second is the Indian scenario. The first one I believe is the global scenario and the Indian scenario. A user base growth of around 24% is in the rise, and the active online video users in just 2 years from 2018 to 2020. This is just before the pandemic and in the middle of the pandemic kind of a data that we have. Then pandemic spikes 20% of the OTT audience, and then as you know the reasons why, and that is continuing 13.5% in 2023. It's a lot. If you look at the data, it's a lot of spike that is happening. Then what is the revenue and market share? Online video market shares around 8% to 25% under a decade, reflecting how digital streaming has displaced traditional TV dominance. Very few of us, we watch in front of the TV. Even if we do so, we either look at Prime videos or maybe Netflix, bigger screen, and perhaps some news channels that are there, right? And what is the forward-looking trend? With the subscriber base slated to grow another 67% by 2020, the digital video ecosystem is on a steep upward trajectory. Now, some of you may be asking a question in your mind. I myself am asking, is that, has this got anything to do with our online classes? But I'm just trying to place ourselves together to understand there's a lot and lot of video consumption, in the form of the reels, in the form of the memes, in the form of so many things. There's a lot of data consumption happening all around. Meaning to say that our learners, their neurosciences, their behavior, everything is changing. When I was doing my studies in the year 2005, 2004, I came across B.F. Skinner and other behavioral psychologists and neurosciences scientists. They're talking about learning is the transformation of behavior. That's how I learned in psychology, in educational psychology. Very recently, I was reading and attended one conference, and the neuroscientist is saying that product is the transformation of behavior. Meaning to say, if the people are designing a product in any industry, they are looking at how they want to transform our behavior first, and they bring the product, and then we buy. Meaning to say, the world has brought out a product, the digital world has brought out a product, that is the screen. And therefore our behavior is changing, our customer behavior, if I use the word customer, our students behavior is changing, our teaching behaviors are changing. So we have to understand that. Therefore I'm showing this bit of statistics over here. Okay. So I have a question here. Watching reels, YouTube, TikTok, Insta videos versus undertaking a Swayam or Coursera course. What will be the similarities? What will be the differences? I'll give a chance to interact with me later. Another question. If you have applied or rather subscribed to a learning management system, and then you are doing a course, again, Swayam or Coursera for that matter, sometime a Moodle, LMS or something like that, versus you're casually browsing something in the Google or Perplexity or any other platforms, or you're simply consuming a content in YouTube or something like that, because everything is monetized, even watch hours and things like that, we know that very well. What will be the similarity and what will be the difference? And if you're subscribed to Netflix or Prime Video or any other OTT platforms, and you spend hours watching the films or web series and things like that, versus learning platforms where you spend times to add micro credential to your own degree. Say for example, you want to do a 2-credit course on cooking, 2-credit course on homemaking or something like that. This part of the micro credential, and there can be a possibility in the future, even in India, within the ABC ID, Academic Bank of Credits, the universities likely to give us degrees or certificates if you have collected micro credentials of that caliber, of the similarity to certain credits that can be given. Some of the Southeast Asian universities are already doing it. In India, I know one private university, that is from Christ University in South. They are already doing these micro-credential programs. So dear friends, my question to you is, what is the similarity and what is the difference? So if you can just scan this in your screen and answer to the Mentimeter there, I would be very happy to get your answers there. I would like to give you a minute to do this. If you're listening to me, are you there? Somebody can just raise a hand or say yes. Devarati ma'am? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, I saw that. Yeah, thank you. So if you
Yes,
can
sir.
see this, yes, if you can see this and go to the Mentimeter and then can give me your response, that will be very helpful to me. I have just asked 3 answers. Yes, no, yes. Okay, thank you.
Sir, if you could show the screen QR code once again on the screen.
Sorry. Sorry, Patrick, sir, just a minute. Yes. Either QR code, or you can also put that numbers given there, 19, 10, 32, 31. Is it okay? Another 20 seconds.
Sir, I'm not getting it, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Archana ma'am. Thank you for that. Just you can scan and you can go to that page and try once again. If you don't get it, don't really worry about it. But I can see that around 7, 8 people have answered so far. 9 people have answered so far.
What do we have to do, sir?
You scan there and you are led to a page, Mentimeter, and there will be 3 questions similar to what I've asked. And there is a yes, no, I do not, I'm not sure kind of an answer. That's it, ma'am.
Sir, I'm not able to scan, sir.
Okay. Sorry
Want
about
me
this.
to instruct?
Yes, Patrick, sir,
Sir,
please, you can
excuse me. Sir,
Uh,
excuse me.
take the camera, take the camera and just look at, show it to the QR code. Just there will be a link below. Just click it there. You are led to that page. If you didn't get it, don't worry about it.
Okay. Sir, because I am attending the program through the mobile phone, sir. Is it possible?
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I got your answers. It is with me. Thank you. But whoever got it, I'm happy that you got it. And those of you a little bit struggle, that's also perfectly fine. Not a problem. I got a lot of answers for yes. 21 people saying yes, 2 people no, and 1 person saying I'm not sure. For the questions that have been asked. Okay, there are 3 questions. That's perfectly fine. I got the answer. So let me come back to my presentation. I'll quickly once again go through it. So your answer is telling to the question, I'm not sure, I don't know whether this is true or that is true. One of the key things is that OBE, that is outcome based education, is always focused in the outcome. But when we are mindlessly watching a film, mindlessly, I'm using a word mindlessly, do not mean that we are not mindful of what things are happening, but there may not be a desired outcome, just the way I stated in 4 objectives, and I wanted a 4 outcome at the end of the lecture, and we don't sit to watch my favorite Netflix series, or student watch a YouTube channel or something like that of their likes. Or sometimes those of you can resonate with me, we watch the reels perhaps 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour. We keep on scrolling, and you will realize suddenly it's time for dinner, and then dinner is set, we go over there. And what you watch in the last 30 minutes or 45 minutes, if you ask, something, but we don't know. But an outcome-based online platform preparation of a lesson and execution is not like that. So there has to be an extra effort on the side of the faculty. What are the things we want? It has to be clear, and we have to set beforehand. To get going, I remember my own effort as a teacher in the offline. I used to go to the classroom and deliver content, and students used to cry sometimes. I remember 2015-16, I'm teaching Agamemnon, an English text. I'm an English teacher. And students are crying to see the death and the violence and the retribution and things like that. And there is absolutely no forgiveness. The concept of the forgiveness is not there. When you talk about what is the meaning of forgiveness, what is the Indic worldview, what is the Hellenic worldview, what is the Judeo-Christian worldview, what is the Hebraic worldview, when we bring this kind of thing, people cry. But when in the exam, I realized that the same person, 5 people were crying, but they're not being able to express in the form of writing that I expected them to write. So there is always a disparity from the kind of responses the student give in the class and the kind of when they write. There is a difference in the format in which they express. Okay, so I just looked back and saw this famous Latin proverb, no currit puer sed extraviem. Beautifully said, the boy runs, but out of the path. Many of us here, faculty members, can resonate with me that we put a lot of effort in teaching learning, but at times we don't find the kind of outcome we are desiring. Sometimes we come out of the lecture hall so very happy that today was the best of my lectures I delivered. I made them participate. They did this and they did that. They did this presentation and they co-participated. We had a wonderful classroom churning, all of that. But sometimes something is missing, but the outcome may not be there. All because sometimes we have not set our targets, set our objectives clearly for themselves and for ourselves. Therefore, we can be like this boy. Curet purer sed extraviem. The boy runs, but outside the we are running, but the target is elsewhere. We are running elsewhere as teachers. If somebody is there to resonate with me, you can just raise your hand. I'll be happy. This can be a situation. Then what to do? What is the pedagogy then? What is the pedagogy then? How to go about it? What is the OBL pedagogy? So there is a global mandate, friends. It's not that I'm saying it. The objective and the outcome based education ensures graduate to meet competencies recognized worldwide. So when we talk about OBE, it is not only Indian context, it is not only Sri Lankan context, Southeast Asian, ASEAN context, we are talking about the global context. What happens in this student-centric learning, our certain focus on the Peter Lepcha, to Devarati Deb, to Anirban Ghosh, to Patrick Johnson goes to our students. We call it pedocentrism. No more guru becomes important, but the shishyas become important. The shift focus to them, because our focus will be how am I going to have my shishyas learn. Okay, so what teacher taught to what the students or the shishyas or the learners have learned, the pupils have learned. And the third in this pedagogy, what is important is that what is the evidence of learning? Active learning, what makes them learn? So there is also science behind it, there is also research behind it. What are the retrieval practices that boost retention? What is the inclusive design that may help kind of equity? Remember, the equity and equality is not the very same thing. There is a 2-year-old child wanting to watch the football. There is a great Khali from India wanting to watch football, and I want to watch football. 2-year child is 2 feet tall, I am 5 feet 7, Khali is 7 feet tall, and there is the wall over there. The wall is 6 feet. If we are talking about equality, we allow all the three to go and watch the football. But the problem is that there is a wall. We require equity now. So for the 2-year-old child, we put 2 feet, I said, then we have to put so many feet underneath a platform so he can stand and watch. For me, 5'7", so I require around 7-8 inches, just like that. And for Khali, there is no requirement. So this kind of a thing in a classroom is very, very important. Who is what? What is the digital divide? What is the kind of the person in my classroom, online as well as offline? What is their situation? So that assessment allows us in this OB, because my outcome is not only meant for the bright ones, my outcome is not only meant for the ones who is participating. So presently I have challenges. For example, I am not being able to see your faces because my PPT is here. What is your state of being? Where are you? So there is a challenge. We'll talk about that also. And finally, online necessity. As I told you, remote learning requires transparent outcomes, align assessment and learner autonomy, and at times it is also necessitated by circumstances because we are very far, and then we require online learning and teaching. Therefore, we require this so-called outcome-based mentality in our teaching and learning processes. This is not only the global mandate, this is also our NEP 2020's one of the visions. It says learner-centric, multidisciplinary, and flexible education. Therefore, we find out that integration of OBE is part and parcel of NEP document, competency-based learning with measurable outcomes. It has to be in the observable, measurable outcomes has to be there in our online teaching learning processes. Not only online, also offline. Of course, NEP is basically talking about online, offline, both together. And also it is also the policy alignment. UGC, AICT, NAC, they are all going to, in a way, accreditate us or rather validate us. So we are all into some kind of a compliance, and they are going to tell us, okay, on this, what did you do on the day of the assessment, or rather their visit, a peer team visit, or nowadays it's going to be also online. I came to learn that there are few colleges in South India, they have already been accredited online. So whether online or offline, there will be an accreditation visit to our institutions. So that time also it's a sort of a, we are aligning with that policy. And also it's about the impact. Faculty as facilitators, learners gain skills beyond rote learning. And we become more than gurus, we become simple facilitators, and the learners becomes they go away from the rote learning. Remember friends, rote learning is a very old system in our country, as old as the Shrutis and the Smritis, our own scriptures. Shruti means what is heard, Smriti means what is remembered, and we know, friends, the Dvivedi, Trivedis, Chaturvedis, they could memorize as a family, as an individual, 2 Vedas, 3 Vedas, 4 Vedas, and learning by memory is a good practice, no doubt about it. But in the modern sense of the technology and the modern research is also bringing in definitely with the memory, we also require to understand what we are memorizing, so that problem solving comes in a situation, not only the memory. So definitely we give primacy to memory, we are not saying no to it, but at the same time, how do we give primacy to also problem solving, because we understand what we are learning in the classroom, otherwise also in the online situation. All right, going with understanding why OBE, I would like to bring to you 1989 Washington Accord. What is a Washington Accord? It's a mutual agreement between multiple multinational institutions, that mutual recognition of engineering programs. Because before 1889, what they found was even the degree names were BE, sometimes BTech, and the exhibition of the skills the engineers projected across the worldwide were different. So Washington Accord in 1989 brought all these institutions together, and they said, okay, our graduates in the engineering institution should have A, B, C, D kind of skills exhibited at the end of the 4 years degree program. Therefore, they brought this something called Washington Accord. It happened in Washington, the Washington Accord. In India, National Board of Accreditation, NBA, became the full signatory in 13 June 2024. So if you are an AICT institution listening to me, including ours, we are part of this signature, because our leaders, our ministers, our people who have in charge of the education, they are signatory to this. Therefore, OB has to be part and parcel of our pedagogy. Presently, it applies to the tier 1 institutions, autonomous universities and colleges, in terms of the direct accreditation. But in all the NAC documents that you people are going to be accredited, there is a question that we have to all answer about the OBE. How is the OBE being taken care in your teaching, learning, and evaluation processes? What does this imply? Indian graduates from accredited programs are recognized in all signatory countries. Since we are signatory to Washington Accord, our graduates, because they are also following the mandates of Washington Accord, our institution, so we are becoming globally relevant. Our programs are becoming globally relevant. For us as faculty, what does it mean? We have to design courses with OBE, with the course outcome, program outcome attainment is non-negotiable for global parity. So if you look at the AICT programs that I saw, courses rather, the one document has a lot of POs and COs well documented, and it aligns with the NBA as well as Washington Accord's mandates. That makes us to understand that we need some kind of a standardization in the way we teach, in the way we assess our students, in the way we give them educative experiences throughout our program. Then going to the next, okay, what is the next thing is that, what is the NAC and AICT's insistence on OBE? NAC and revised accreditation framework of 2020, as I told you earlier on, which is going to talk about the attainment metrics of central to accreditation under criterion to teaching, learning, evaluation. They are going to ask us to fill the form accordingly, and the marks is also there. And I've already talked to you about the AICT and NBA, their accreditation process, where the attainment calculation is also there. Recently, we had some friends joining us from Marian College from Ernakulam in down south in Kerala, and they also provided us with how to even assess, how to even calculate the attainment of the OBE per student in each of the programs, each of the courses. And we can also give them a transcript at the end saying that together with the assessment that has happened in the mainstream courses, like I teach English, I give the transcript of English, the college gives the transcript of English. Also, we can give a transcript of OBE attainment. Okay, so implication, no accreditation in NBA NAC grade is possible without demonstrable OBE evidence. So that's kind of we are coming to. All right, so how to create the OBE pedagogy? So this is, I think all of us are waiting for. I myself would like to talk about this. No, so when we prepare an OBE pedagogy, be it online or offline, we have to keep in the beginning that we have to define measurable objectives and outcomes. Something that we can measure in observable, overt, verbs. That's how Benjamin Bloom writes in his book. It's not that understanding cannot be seen. I've understood. Okay, but this is covert. But overt would mean I ask the student, okay, the fourth switch is the switch for the tube light. The fifth switch is for the switch for the fan, if I tell the student. And I go and switch on and switch off and exhibit that. And I ask a student, backbencher, can you, Mr. Rahul, go and switch the fan? And he will go and switches that. He shows that behavior has changed because of my uh, the thing I have given the input, that kind of a thing. So kindly keep that in mind. Level 2, we have to always begin with Wiggin and McTighe talks about, we have to always plan our program with the assessment, the outcome in the mind. Do not count the chicken before they hatch is the management terminology, and the book also there and things like that. But in the outcome based education, we begin with the, okay, this is what I want, and therefore I plan everything else, kind of a thing. Third, choose online strategies, case-based learning, project big tasks, flipped classroom videos, peer instructions, all of that. Based on identifying the objectives and then outcomes, then we go to the end at the end what I want, the goals, the final outcome, and then we design. Finally, ensure constructive alignment of the objectives, activities, and assessment at the end. And finally, we need an LMS, learning management system, to find out what the students are doing, what is the grade, what is the level, how many hours they are watching, what is the answer they are providing. Soyam is a very good platform. Moodle is a very good platform, don't have to pay anything. Institutions have adapted a lot, and Moodle is a very good platform for learning management system. All right, what are the OBE based online assessment plans and strategies? Very simple, not much of money costing kind of a thing that we can keep in mind. All of these PPTs I will share to Dr. Debarati. She can also share with you, not a problem. So number one is the retrieval practice, frequent low stakes quizzes, polls, and flashcards, which I tried, and many of you replied thanks to that. Then and today in the time of AI, even in offline classes, we have problem of the assessment. And Mr. Patrick is listening to me, our Deputy Controller of Examinations. Recently, I was in Singapore in the month of July, and one of the classical and very strong statement made there in Singapore Management University by one of the resource person, I almost fell from my chair, was this, that in few years of time, our examination system is all going to go away. Many of us in India, especially if you are Indian friends listening to me, that most of our focus is on how to conduct exam, paper, this, that. We have controller of examination, deputy controller of examination, deputy controller of evaluation, custodian, this, that. So much of energy is going there, but a time is coming, that's what they say. We know some of the Western universities, European universities, they have done away with it. It goes to the teacher. But the credibility of the teacher and the integrity of the teacher is also very good, that you don't simply grade a person just out of the flimsy mindset or things like that. So we have to arrive at that first of all. But it's a challenge. What I'm trying to tell you is that in the time of AI, whether to have examination system or not at all, even if you're asking people to write term paper, they are coming with chat GPT generated answers. How do we do it? So we have to even change that mindset and practices, the real world tasks, the projects, e-portfolios. I found in one of the universities from Indonesia, what they do is they ask students to prepare answers in chat GPT or any other AI. They give situations, they prepare the answers, but when they come to the presentation time, they have to solve a real-time problem. They may have taken cues and prompts from the AI, but in real situation, they have to solve the real problems. And they have also identified what as a department are we looking for as a dominant trait in a graduate. Say, for example, I'm a student of literature, I would say critical mindset to read a literary text. So if I say critical thinking is my dominant kind of an attribute that I'm looking for, I will also align with sociology department. They say, yes, for us also critical thinking. And then few of us, few departments or courses come together and say, okay, we are looking for that. So how to design critical thinking, even well within the framework of artificial intelligence. That becomes a challenging situation. And then peer assessment is another very interesting one. So we ask students and we give the rubrics to them, and then we ask each other to peer assess themselves in the kind of courses or the tasks that we assign online. Exams can be of two types. One is the individual, and also we give them presentations and things like that. Then it becomes a collaborative attempt. Many of us we do already, and those of us listening to me, you do in your own ways, not a new thing. Then student also resubmit till they achieve certain kind of a mastery, especially on the online situation for programming and things like that. One is nowadays a lot of AI is writing programs, and then it is also finding the flaws in the programs. And many of us, those of us from the language background, we like proofreading, but nowadays ChatGPT does the proofreading, it does the language check and things like that. But where are we needed still is the kind of contextual, local kind of matters, ideas, thoughts to be inserted, which will be perhaps unique, our own examples, our own micro stories, sociocultural heritage, our orators, oralities that are unique to us, that is still preserved. And the narration of it, AI cannot do. It may have the information, but it cannot present it in the manner I have lived. So we can think about our own lived experiences. How do we make this, you know, uh, unique to present to our students? So in the online, this becomes a very, very important thing, because in the online, they have all the content, but we have to make it different by presenting our own stories, our own micro experiences, lived experiences. And in the online assessment plan, we have also used analytics a lot when we say it has to be, everything has to be aligned with numerical representation, meaning to say, so many hours of class you attended, this is the credit. So many answers you gave, this is the answer, kind of thing. In the online offline situation, perhaps we just give the grade A, B, C, D, or things like that, depending on the kind of university practices you have. But in the analytics, you have to give also the maybe credit hours present, the person was there, what kind of a thing he or she presented. And I see a lot of universities presently using, they're asking students the prompts of the answers they have prepared rather than the answers they have prepared. They know that they are using AI, so they kindly submit the prompt. So from the prompt also we understand what is the kind of person is typing there, what is the punctuation, what is the thought that is going, because that is counted more than the outcome, the polished answer that AI is generating. So I think we can adapt to this kind of system. I personally do this. I ask the student to give me the prompts rather than the answer, because I know the answers, but I want the prompts, because real thought of the architect of architecting that answer goes in the prompt engineering. That's a valuable thing for me. So I would like to know that from the students. I'm in the third quarter of my presentation, almost coming to the close, and I would like to talk about the challenges of online OB pedagogy and how do we mitigate, So number one challenge we find is how to measure higher order of outcome online. So when we say higher order, analysis, creativity, that this higher understanding, okay, I have understood knowledge level, understood. If you remember, I'm talking about the Bloom's taxonomy hierarchy, on the top being the creation, down below the understanding, kind of a thing. So higher order of learning requires difficult to measure whether they have been able to create something, to show something. So how do we do that? As I told you, we give them realistic situation, authentic task, oral vivas, very, very important. When you're giving the oral vivas, even oral vivas nowadays, few screens are there and students are cheating. Okay, but I don't think, I personally like Elon Musk's answer. I think 2023 he gave about a question when he was asked, how do you hire people in the higher up in your organization? Because he personally takes interview. Then his answer was this, that he said, I always ask my chief operating officers and COOs and things like that, and people in the higher up management, I ask them a question. And the question is, did you come across a snag or a problem during your work hours in your previous company? Because these positions are meant only for people of experience. They'll say yes. Then explain. And Elon Musk says if the person is bluffing, he can catch it in the second line. But if the person is really narrating one story, he or she will be so thorough, clear, then you know that this is that person's story. Those of us, we have the kids in our house, they are 4, 5, 6, 7. When they tell you certain stories that happen in the, if they are telling the real story, we know it. If they're just faking it, from the second line, we know that person, that child is faking it. We know this very well. So we have to understand that higher level of outcome has to be with a lot of vivas and project-based submissions where students can use their, not only the head, but also the psychomotor kind of a situation, if possible, whenever. Of course, online gives us some certain kind of a restriction, but definitely in offline situation, this is a possibility. But definitely vivas are possible where you can put them in a situation, for example, submit your prompts for AI or something like that, or ask them viva questions about what happened yesterday regarding that, if you're choosing, or maybe give them immediately one situation of let's say a news article, and then what is your opinion about it. The person may take time to look in the chat GPT or something like that, but you keep questioning, cross questioning, then you will know exactly what is happening with that person. Second one is, I think all of us, we know this academic integrity, the question of the ethics, because AI and ethics, not my idea. Whose idea? Upanishadic idea. Many authors. I am also co-author. Any number of answers we get from the students these days. No, don't say, sir, you have created it, but in the Upanishadic text, there were many authors. So we are also authoring. We are also co-authors. I have co-created with AI. This is the answer our smart students give this today. So it is difficult. It is difficult in terms of the academic integrity to demand from the students that whether you really did it, kind of a thing. Okay, so how do we mitigate? We give open book exams, but in the open book exams, we have to give them application based questions. Like, for example, recently I saw the CA exam happening in our college, and I saw an open book examination. They were allowed to use all the books available. They can write all the answers there. But the questions, when I saw, I was smiling. The question is, Mr. So-and-so from US came to India. He started to settle here. Then he wanted to invest for some construction project. He paid this amount. Then after the second year, he was not given possession. Then he wants to sue the company. What is the situation? He is an NRI, or he's a US citizen, or an NRI. So many rules and regulations the student have to know. Then they are checking that book, they're checking like that. So I saw in the offline situation, they were in a really soup situation, but they were smart ones. Some were answering and things like that. I don't know. I'm thinking with you all, dear friends. If you have ideas, we can definitely in Q&A give your feedback on this. Rather than questioning me on this, you can see how we can mitigate this situation. And also some application based questions and plagiarism detection. But again, to tell you friends, plagiarism detection is short lived, because every day new things are there, and expert people, smart people are there. They are always bypassing the logic of the plagiarism detection. Today the software is doing it, next day something else they are making, and it is going. So it is it's a difficult terrain. That's what I would like to say at the moment about talking about the second challenge. The third one is a digital divide and inclusivity. One is that not all the students, not all the learners will have the facility of having the internet. Like I was in Singapore, the speed of the internet was like amazing. Any part of the country you go, the speed is there. If you are in the building, Wi-Fi, even the better. But we know our Indian context, especially I'm from nearer to the hills here in the foothills of the Himalayas. As we go up higher up in the Himalayas, we have issues with connectivity and things like that. In availability also of the resources. Okay, so how do we mitigate that? So we also need to have asynchronous options of half of the online, half of the offline kind of a situation. And our classes, as far as possible, talking about OB pedagogy, if it can be mobile phone friendly, you have to understand that either in the orientation mode or in the landscape mode, all of our designs has to be there. Mostly our applications are coming like that, so not to worry about it, but generally we have to be mindful. Bandwidth alternatives is taking care of the kind of video presentations. If you keep it ultra HD and HD, 1080p, whatever it is, to keep in mind if you're talking about the video uploads and things like that, because we have to bear in mind the diversity of our learners if you are doing online courses and things like that. Another challenge is the faculty readiness, and all of us are here friends. It is a challenge just to prepare this 1.5 hour presentation. I spent almost a month, because Devarati man had given that just to talk about one session, you know. But offline is slightly easier. You prepare slides, you talk, you can look at the person yawning, get the feedback, talk to them. The ball game is different, but online is a challenge. So are we ready? Kind of a thing. No? So our readiness is there. What is the perks and perquisites, and what are the incentives for doing online? Because as I told you, I gave the previous slides about the statistics. There is no escaping. If there is a multiple choice question for OBE, it would be something like question number 1, do you want to be axed? Question number 2, do you want to be hanged? Question number 3, do you want to be crucified? And the fourth question, all of the above. How will you answer? You know, that's the kind of a situation we have reached, because online life is real. Okay, so how do we mitigate? First of all, we have to be ready. So therefore, FDPs, this one is a very good one. And support, mentoring, template-based design. There are very good universities across India. I found some Hyderabad University, some Christian universities in down south. They are doing Swayam courses, themselves preparing and things like that. We have so many friends in the circle. They are helping us, we are helping them. In our college, there is a mandate right now for each of the departments to produce online courses of 10 minutes, online lectures for 10 minutes. Keeping on all of these, training has been provided, output has been given. We have a studio, and we have booked it, and turn by turn we are shooting our videos, our video lectures, you know. So somewhere we have to begin. That's what I would like to say. No one is perfect, but somewhere we have to begin. If you don't begin in one day, one auspicious day will come, Shubhu Murto will come, and that morning when the Bhadra Shuklo Trayodasi, the moon will be there and the sun will be there, I will start. It will never come like that. We have to begin on a situation, because it is the demand of the hour from our Indian academia, from our students across the world. This is the demand. And the fifth and the final challenge that I'm talking about presently here, there are many, but I think these are the topmost according to my priority. If you have any, again, you can talk about as a feedback. Compliance complexity. So many compliances. UGC is asking in one form, AICT is asking another form, your IQAC office is asking another form, your academic coordinator is asking another form. So how do we keep that, you know? How do we design our thing? So if you are AICT college, kindly follow that format in delivery, preparation, delivery, and evaluation, so that there should not be any complexity. And also to IQAC and other compliance body within the institution or outside, maybe for NAC and things like that, we keep a simple, a similar template, so that there is a centralized documentation for course outcome and program outcome mapping and attainment. To this, I would like to add Marian College. Once again, I would like to refer in down south of India, Kerala, Ernakulam, and just above the hills over there. They are heavily using an ERP system that helps them to maintain all of these. I think colleges and institutions and universities that are listening to me, many of you already have it. Those of you do not have, always get in consultation from friends, and we are also there if any one of you are in need of. Otherwise, if it's a scattered effort, I am doing it, but nowhere it's being recorded, it becomes a big problem. So whatever departments, individual faculty members, schools, deaneries are doing, centers of learnings are doing, has to be from a centralized ERP system. So therefore we can retrieve it whenever we require. Okay, so towards the end, friends, as I come to the close of it, I have few things as a recap that I'd like to talk to you about. So therefore, friends, number one is as a recap and key takeaways. Even if you were halfway through listening to this and that, busy at home, listen to me carefully for the coming few minutes. OB is a bridge between local pedagogy and global recognition. As I told you, the boy is running, but out of the race course kind of a situation. But we are doing so much. We got only so much grade, but we are doing so much. But NAC did not give us recognition. We are doing so much. AICT, this one, NCT is doing that. Should not be the thing. So what you are doing locally, if you are aligning with the global, then you get recognition. So we talked about the Washington Accord at length. Prior to that, I talked to you about the statistics of placing the video consumption in terms of various things. But watching TikTok and Instagram videos and reels in even in YouTube is a different thing, different ball game. But when we are preparing something, there has to be objectives, clear outcomes expected. Okay. Secondly, NAC and AICT mandates OB not as an option, but as an essential for quality assurance. Otherwise, how do we know the quality is there? Sometimes quality is something that we are all so much preoccupied. We all know very well. We always buy things from the brand. Milk in India, those of us non-Indians can understand us that we have a brand in India called Amul, very famous, from Gujarat, started by Korean Varghese, and there's a organization now. We like, okay, Amul milk is something trustworthy. So similarly, institution also has to be trustworthy. Okay, A graded college, A plus plus college, so and so college. Therefore, we require this kind of a so-called the branding and the grades. Therefore, we require standardization. It's not an option, but it has to be part and parcel. In the online OB pedagogy, I talked about constructing in alignment with the active learning, authentic assessment, and analytic evidence, but constructing constructive alignment, as I told you, with the end in the mind right in the beginning. End in mind right in the beginning. Not that I will do somehow, result will be whatever, let it go like that. So, but we have to have end in mind. The fourth key takeaway for us is with proper templates, peer sharing, and assessment redesign, OB can enrich both online and offline classrooms. So, how do we engage our students within the time frame that is given to us in online as well as offline? And very interesting, the fifth one, our faculty role changes from content deliverer to designer of the learning experiences. Meaning, we are no more the guru sage on the stage. I know everything. I have the grains of gold in my head. I will give you one to Ajay, Vijay, Smriti, and things like that. Okay, all the gold sack theory, as we call it in traditional pedagogy. Or maybe pipeline theory, that I have all the gyan in my head and I give you one pipe and to you, another pipe to you. So that's the sage on the stage kind of thing. But guide by the side is that we are discovering together. So I'm curating learning experiences as a faculty, as a facilitator, and you participate in that and you have the learning experience. So we become a co-traveler. Shohopothik. I'm from Bengal, so in Bangla we call it Shohopothik, that we walk together. So we walk together with the students. So we discover together. So that's the kind of a picture. And I like another interesting phenomena for myself. I like the word called hand holding. When a little child is there, not being able to walk, we always hold the hand of the child. The person may fumble, stumble, but we hold and we walk together. So faculty's role becomes something like the person may be learning to walk, but we are walking together. The hierarchy is equal. There is no, the person not on the top, not on the down. So I think this is a beautiful way to do it. The OB challenges us to do it. This is how I have seen it. So if you listen to me carefully, I talked about the objectives, the expected outcomes, what are the video consumption behavior across the world today. I talked to you about the Indian scenario. I talked to you about why OB, because of the Washington Accord, and why Indian universities have become signatory to that and we have to deliver. Why compliances with the NEP documents and NAC new accreditation framework of 2020 and we have to comply to that. Then I said how to design it. I talked to you about what are the assessment to design what we have designed. I gave few examples of the AI and asking things like that. Then I went to challenges. There is a challenge and also gave you some kind of a mitigating answers to that. And finally, I'm making this recap. So this is how I would like to place my presentation today. And to Miss Debarati, I would like to give this time. I have written Q&A over here, dear friends. I see 79 of you are online here. More than the Q&A, I would like to make this as a point of discussion. We have some time, I think. I would like to put my question something like that. This is a Q&A. What is your learning outcome from this? Just one. Any one of you can unmute and speak. Please listen carefully. Then you say, Mr. Lepcha or Peter Bhai or whatever you call me, I resonate with that point with you. You said ABCD. I resonate with you. I struggle with that, or I do that. If that kind of a thing is there, we spend some time with that. So number one, what is the learning that you have taken for today? Second one is, oh brother, I resonate with you. मेरे भाई मैं उस विषय से आपके साथ में सहमत हूँ. हाँ जी, मुझे वो चीज़ सही लगा. नहीं नहीं, वो चीज़ मुझे होता है बट मेरे साथ नहीं हुआ है. अगर ऐसा कोई भी आपके साथ ऐसा विषय है, इफ यू हैव एनीथिंग लाइक दैट, एनी थॉट लाइक दैट, यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम टू इंटरेक्ट एट दिस मोमेंट ऑफ टाइम. ओके, प्लीज. Devarati ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. So,
Yes.
dear participants, if
Hello?
anyone has a question, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, hello, Peter ji. Hello, Devaratina.
Anji, Anji.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
through this session, so what is the task the students are having that we need to understand? So, what kind of task they need? Because this current generation students are really a very much forward. So we have to run behind them. So what is the thirst they have, and that we need to address, identify and address and deliver the content in a precise and designed manner.
Thank you, ma'am Kiruthika Murguswamy. Thank you for this wonderful thought and an idea that you're sharing. I would like to reword it a little bit to make it to clear my own idea. I think what we are
Okay.
trying to talk about here is maybe the pulse survey of what the student would like to learn, given the syllabus that we have, given the curriculum that we have to need to deliver online. And how do we do it? That becomes a primary question. And definitely, ma'am, yes, what you said is very true. Within the framework of the curriculum that we need to deliver, what is the students wanting out of that? Definitely, so they become the very center. Thank you so much. That's a very, very wonderful thought and your feedback. Thank you so much for that, ma'am. Somebody else was trying to question. My question was, what did you learn from this session? And the second question was, on that I resonate with you,
Hello,
Mr.
sir.
Peter. Yes, yes.
May I ask? Thank you, sir. Thank you for this wonderful session, sir. May I know which domain you have?
Sorry,
Because
ma'am.
you are talking about Upanishad, because you was talking about Upanishad and all.
Mm-hmm.
In which domain your research is, sir?
I am a student of literature, ma'am. I teach English literature to our students of first year, second year, third year.
That's why I understood. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, thank you. My friends, if you are listening to me, my question is, my question to you all is, rather you are asking me, I'm asking the question, in what point of my session that you resonate with me? हाँ, ये चीज़ मुझे सही लगा. हाँ, ये चीज़ से मुझे छुआ. हाँ, ये चीज़ सही है. That is the point of resonating with me. So if you have any thought like that, please share with me.
Sir, there is a question for you in the chat box.
Yes, I saw that, Patricia. Thank you. What share? Okay. Okay. I think,
Peter, sir, there's a question in the chat box. Should I
yes,
read it
ma'am.
for you?
Yeah, I am reading it, ma'am. I'm
Okay,
reading
sir.
it.
Okay.
I saw it. This is a question by ma'am P. Usha Nandini from NPSBCET. Ma'am, that this question is a wonderful question you have asked. Excellent session. Okay. How to handle average students, sir? How to ask the students to complete their work on time? You know, I am sure the context is online because this is an online course. But I would like to answer in both for offline as well as for the online. No, in a in a pedagogy within the classroom management system, I think the best way to also handle the average student, which I have employed in my own teaching career for the last 16 years in Salesian College that I'm teaching here, is the workshop method. When I say workshop method, I'm teaching a lot of courses to the postgraduate students, novels and dramas and things like that. I generally ask them to, I give them chart papers and sketch pens. I have the answers, I have the PPT with me, I have done my research and preparation. But I would like to ask the students, say for example, a course that I teach to the master student called No Path in Darjeeling is Straight by Parimal Bhattacharya, famous author from Bengal. This particular text talks about the crookedness of the path in Darjeeling in reality. Otherwise, also the kind of meandering, the layered realities of Darjeeling in terms of politics, in terms of societies, in terms of education, in terms of the topography, geography, and things like that. So my question would be, have you visited Darjeeling? And what are the places you have visited Darjeeling? Kindly talk to each other for 5 minutes. So they share each other 5 minutes. Kindly write your experiences in the chart paper that I give you. Find out one leader. Find out, find out, you know, your secretary, and then draw whatever you want. You want to draw Kanchenjunga, you want to draw Chaurasta Promenade, that is famous over there, and then you present it at the end. So I give them 30 minutes. I have a lecture hour of 55 minutes. I give them 30 minutes. They do that and they come back. They serve, they share their experiences and so on. Then my within that presentation, I start to bring counter questions which I have prepared. What do you say about Parimal Bhattacharya when he went there in 1990s when there was a big agitation going on the question of the Gorkha land agitation? Then the second question, the third question, there was a person by the name Benson as a character. He was a gay person, but also he had AIDS and he's thinning down, ostracized, alienated from the society. What do you say about that? Versus the Darjeeling town, versus the St. Paul's, versus Kanchenjunga, versus that. And then they start to talk about it. So, ma'am, just to talk about to Nandini, ma'am, recently a student came and told me, thank you so much for making us interact with each other because I never talked to ABCD friends because of this process of methodology. I'm being able to talk. An average student coming and told me. So I personally employ this method, whether it will work for you because your subjects are different. I don't know from which subject that you may be from. So that may demand something else. So you need to really do a research and understand. But I'm telling you, once you start doing it, it just becomes so very engaging. And I don't like a classroom that is passively listening. Rather than I want students to engage. Therefore, my question to you is rather than you are asking me the question, I asked you the question. Okay, so that is very, very interesting. Okay, thank you. Deepak Mathurji is writing about resonating together. We discovered together. Thank you so much. Okay, understand concept of the course.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
Good evening.
Yes, sir. Good.
Sir, I sent a message. I sent a message.
Yes, sir.
Just you can read it. I am Dr. Kanagaraj.
Yes,
Hello.
Peter sir, there is a text from Dr. Kanagar.
Yes.
I texted a message.
Yes, sir. I'm reading it, sir. If we delivered the course with offline system, the students are observing only 20 okay, 20 to 30 minutes. But how is it possible to understand the concept and deliver the course in online to the student? What is your perspective? That's a very good question. As I asked you, this question is almost telling me like, Peter sir, do you like to be axed? Do you like to be hanged? Or do you like to be crucified? Or all of the above kind of a question. Because I understand, as I told you, online we do not see them, right? So once we do not see them is a huge issue to find out whether they have understood the concept. So one of the quick things that you can do is what I'm doing. Like I'm asking individuals to like that. Once you are in the online situation with your own students, you also have the roles with you, which I don't have. I can only see your names. So you say, okay, you can say, Subhangi Dotto, what did I tell about the AICT compliance? Then that person, even if has not heard me, at least will look at the mobile phone and answer to me. In that very process of that person trying to answer me has gone one message to that person. Okay, one idea. Okay, AICT means full form of AICT is this university full form. That because that day I was little embarrassed because Peter sir asked me in the kind of thing. I think this kind of a quick evaluation in between Dr. Kanagraj ji, I think this will be very much helpful to you. This is my perspective. You're asking my drishtikod, my perspective, sir. Again, my question, dear friends,
Thank you, sir.
my question to you all is, at what point do you resonate with me? Okay, thank you. Dr. Kamini is saying that challenges we face in online, offline pedagogy. Yes, we are all teachers. Thank you so much for that. Yes, yes. Okay, thank you. Is Pragya writing there? I resonated more to the principle of equity than equality among students because equity ensures that each student receives the support they specifically need to succeed rather than treating everyone as if they are started from the same position. I think this is a basic premise most of us in the classroom we have to understand, and we understand that. I'm not questioning that, but many a times for the want of time, for the want of the finishing of the syllabus and the rush and things like that, we have to negate it. And I have no shame in saying, because we are all in the same business of teaching, many times this goes out of our mind and we go into blah 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 blah. But of late I'm becoming more and more aware, and I'm using a lot of workshop and flipped classroom in my classes for a smaller group and bigger group. Now I have a lot of bigger group also, 55 students in a class. I consider big because in terms of delivering and getting really outcome from that becomes challenging for me than to 20 students in the PG in a master student first year second year. That's relatively. So I think that is very very important to understand, and the science to support that is again coming from behavioral sciences, the law of individual difference. We are all very different, but at the same time we are put in the same place, same classroom, for all practical reasons, political reasons, sociological reasons, and then we have to do justice to all of that, and that becomes the really challenge. Thank you for that, Pragya ji. Any other person trying to resonate with the any point? I would love to someone speaking and saying, okay, this is what, something like that, explaining. I would really love to hear that. Mr. Anirban Ghosh, our Dean sir, if you can share something, or Mr. Patrick Johnson, on the question of exams, if you would like to say something, because I think I opened a Pandora's box over there.
Yes, no, sir. Yes, it's a Pandora's box, and we do not know what else will come out in the coming future. Though it's a quite a chaotic time, also I would say, because the changes that are coming in, and it's not a very long time that we have got in hand, and we do have taken up the challenge. And one lady did pose a question, I think, one faculty about how to, make us average student understand or answer or study whatever that was. So I do feel, a lot of challenges in this regard, because that is also my question sometimes, that how do I make the backbenchers, of course, with the new concept of no backbenchers from Kerala, coming from Kerala, that how do we, the front benchers, or the even till the average, the middle ones are always covered, whether they study, we teach, they will do it. But what about the challenges the last ones are always having, they are. And also the other challenge being, yes, we are propagating so much of online, and it is useful, but again I see, majority of the online activities are for mobile games and other such, their focuses are diverted so much. So I also do not know how we'll be wading through this times. Only future will tell us. But yes, the masses, or as mentioned about the equity aspect, that how do we bring in everybody in that fold and really give education, and in our terms, or in our system, quality education. How do we really, that's a more of a discussing and talking about point rather than a question. So, and thank you for a beautiful session. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, about the exams that I was talking to you all, and I'm talking within the context because in most of the Southeast Asian universities, as well as Europe and America, as I told you, centralized exam system is slowly going away. But also, I had got an input from most of the Philippine universities that I interacted with, around 6 of them. They are also going back to the question of integrity. Like, for example, if the faculty is becoming subjective in answering, in giving marks, then has the learning really taken place, kind of a question is also coming. But also the corollary answer to that is also, if we are managing our formative assessments, even in online as well as offline formative assessments very well, and then we are going ahead with that, I think the objective subjective divide should be lesser and lesser. Of course, 100% is not at all possible, but this thinning line is a possibility. But the projection is towards that centralized exams of our nature, that exam ridden Indian context that we are coming from is going to reduce. Is, I think we all agree on that point. At the same time, the question of assessments, because of the artificial intelligence coming in, and it is helping the students to frame answers and prepare themselves. And how do we question that? One of the most I think ingenious ways across the universities being practiced is in ASEAN countries that I found out, China as well as also. I don't know much about Indian context because I was partly with the Indian sub friends, but mostly we were in the multinational national situation. Is oral examination, but it's not always possible to have oral for a larger number of students. Like sometimes in our Department of Commerce, we have 75, 90 students in a group, and oral examination, even if you do 5 minutes into 75, you understand the mathematics. So therefore, how do we really, mitigate this? It's a challenge we have to think through. And a question from A. Gaurinath here. I am Gaurinath from Autonomous College, Hyderabad. Query: the use of AI makes our work more easier, but as per the research, AI reduces the and kills the thought process of any person. My question is, can we suggest our college student, as well as research scholars to use AI? Wow. I think again this question is, Peter sir, do you like to be axed? Do you like to be hanged? Or do you like to be crucified? Or the above? So yes, Gauriji, I would say in the year, I think 1979, if I am not correct, you can check in your mobile. India introduced the computers for the very first time. It is the Rajiv Gandhi government, they introduced it. And in that particular year, there was a Bharat Bandh, because the people in India, especially working in the offices, they said that computer is going to take away our job. It's the technical word would be computer is going to supplant our human labor. Therefore, they didn't use this word. I'm using it in the modern context. So they said, "हम लोग का job चला जाएगा." So there was a Bharat Bandh, From 1979 to 2005, today is the 8th of August. You tell me. Sorry, 12th of August, 20th of August. You tell me. We are all using computer as part and parcel to it. If you're asking me that question, friend, I would like to say that there's no going behind it. There's no going behind it. Then what is our role? We need to educate our students. We have to educate our students to use AI wisely. Now, when I say wisely, again, it's a vague answer. Just to talk to you about present present research that has come from Harvard University about the brain development that is happening among the students using ChatGPT and the students who are not using ChatGPT. The control group and non-control group kind of a study that has happened. Already the student studies has come, which I found it very, very interesting, that the students using ChatGPT is very simple because dependence of technology is there, and not today. Century ago, years ago, Heidegger had already talked about it, our dependence on the technology. And Leibniz is the one, I think, who codified the so-called binary system of the zeros and ones. From the Leibniz's time, our committing to things to the memory has lessened and lessened and lessened. Prior to that, we would remember many numbers. I remember some of our fathers in our Salesian College here, our former principals and other fathers that I know personally, they would remember so many phone numbers by heart of so many faculty, support staff, office staff, and things like that. Today, if I ask you personally also, other than your spouse's phone number and your own phone number, it is difficult to remember. I have just found one individual in my college, one of the faculty in the department of mathematics. He is gifted by God that way that he can remember even the chassis number of his vehicle. Forget about the other numbers of the, like things that he sees. Can you imagine how many digits are there in a chassis of an engine of a car? He remembers even that. That's a gift. Okay, but most of us, the onslaught of memory of the AI and artificial intelligence is definitely there. Okay, but having said that, there's no going back. We can't say we don't need AI. Across the world, I looked at some of the universities because presently I have been assigned the responsibility by the college to prepare AI policy for our college. All the universities, reputed ones, they already have AI policy for their institution saying that we use AI for ABCD purpose. This is the way to use, this is the way, do not use it, this is that. Already things are there. And if you remember, I also talked about one aspect that we have to, as departments, as course designers, as program designers, as faculty members, look for competencies in our own programs and courses that we are looking for in our students at the end of the course. When we identify that, I give the example of critical thinking. How do I preserve my critical thinking in my course throughout, even if somebody has to use AI and give me the answer? Should be our focus in designing the course. This is what I would like to answer. As I told you, this being a very ongoing process, the AI is just 2023 in this manner, but AI has been there for long, but in the manner of AI tool is there from 2022-23, and this it's pretty new. So we are all thinking through. Thank you for that question. And thank you, Professor Glenn Shai, for that answer. Thank you for that. Thank you. I think we are towards the close. I've got, according to the system, 3 minutes. If anybody would like to give a feedback on the question that I asked you at one point that you resonate with me as a faculty. Okay, thank you. I strongly resonate with the open book exam. In our master exam during COVID, we had such great question that made us and even internet think of it. They really know everything. Prophet Indrajit Roy from Department of Commerce, NBU, had such great question to us in the online exams. However, we didn't have ChatGPT in that era. But now the emergence of the ChatGPT, how do we design such good question that mere just book the internet won't be enough. Rather, it would ask much more from students, as the professor Injadit too immensely believed in igniting thinking ability. Yes, that's a very good thing. As I told you, in some Indonesian universities I referred to, they are asking students to prepare answers in ChatGPT, situations in ChatGPT, or do any research in wherever possible. But when it comes to the classroom situation, when they're asked to solve a real life situation, they are given from within that a real task to perform. And there the real taste of the pudding is in the tasting, as we call it, comes out, meaning to say how the student is performing. Like for example, how many of us would be going to a doctor who has passed his examination during pandemic and say that, come on, my body is here, do the operation upon me, kind of. Definitely this question is again, do you want to be axed, do you want to be hanged, or do you want to be crucified, or all of the above? I have just 1 minute by the time that is given. Should you have anyone resonating with me at any point, you are most welcome to share. It seems like there is a silence, and sometimes silence is difficult for a teacher like any one of us.
Can
But
I speak?
Yes, Patrice.
Okay. Well, yeah, being you, since you addressed me as the exam coordinator here, so my life is like I am on two boats right now. Okay, and personally, I love having more creative methods of uh, doing assessments for students. But in the current scenario, we also have to do the sit and write exams. Both are going on because when it comes to the creative methods of the other kinds of methods, for example, it's a group discussion, or if it's a skit. So writing the rubrics is one thing, recording and creating the proof of that exam is another thing. So there's still a lot of work to do in that area. If faculty manage to do that properly, I think there's a lot of scope for more creative examinations. And it's true, just like you said about Philippines. Last year, I also came across some faculty from Philippines who said that they are having issues with certain faculty taking uh, these exams pretty lightly. So they are going back to the centralized examination system. Um, I would prefer that our college is able to manage at least 50-50, you know, and that the other 50 is more towards, the other kinds of assessment systems. So there is a greater interaction among students. There is when they break out and learn in groups, the learning is of a different kind. So I believe that would be great. That's my uh, views to this.
Thank you so much. I think that's a very powerful and very befitting, because in Salesian College, we have 50-50 of internal assessment, that is, sorry, internal means formative assessment, and 50% of summative assessment, and the 50% gives more of practice to the faculty moving towards that. But eventually, as we look at the projection towards the future, if you have to align and have the compliance internationally, slowly this kind of examination centralized is going to reduce, is the kind of projection we have. And I think Mr. Patrick is the Deputy Controller of Examinations in our autonomous college, and thank you for that feedback. And with this, in Latin, we call it quet erat demonstrandum, means what was to be demonstrated, I did it. Thank you for this time, for being with me and listening to me, and thank you for your responses and questions. I would like to give this time to the head of the department, Ms. Debarati Deb. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful session. The feedback of the participants says it all, that they have really enjoyed your session and it was really a fruitful one. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, one request, sir, from the participants also it has come. If you could kindly share the PPT to me so that I can share it with all the participants, because at the end of all the sessions, the participants will also have to write a test.
Okay. Yes, more than happy to share. As I said, it's a tradition. We are all co-creating, so not a problem. You can, I'll definitely share. Immediately I'll share with you, ma'am, in your
Thank
WhatsApp.
you so
Okay?
much, sir. Thank you once again for accepting our invitation and delivering this wonderful lecture, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, dear participants, so our next resource person has already joined us. I request Dr. Nirmal Chandra Roy to kindly switch on your camera so that I can introduce you and the participants can also see you. So our next session will be conducted by Dr. Nirmal Chandra Roy. He is an assistant professor in the Department of Management, Department of Business Administration, Human Resource at the University of Burdwan, West Bengal. He holds an MBA in HR and Marketing from the University of North Bengal, diplomas in labor laws and hospitality management, and a PhD in management from Vidyasagar University, where his doctoral research focused on human resource management in the Indian tea industry of North Bengal. He was awarded the UGC JRF in 2015. Dr. Roy is a life member of ICA, IAA, and INDAM. An accomplished scholar and author, he has published over 40 research papers and case studies in Scopus, Web of Science, and ABDC listed journals, and has presented more than 50 papers at national and international conferences. His books include Human Resource Management in the Indian Tea Industry, Routledge, UK, Organizational Behavior and Production and Operations Management. His recent recognitions include a design patent in the year 2024 for a consumer feedback data processing device and a copyright 2025 for a business model for small-scale handicraft industries in West Bengal. Beyond academia, Dr. Roy has also delivered invited lectures in India and abroad, conducted corporate training programs, and provided consultancy for CSR projects. His research interests span human resource management, labor laws, industrial relations, organizational behavior, entrepreneurship, and tourism management. So, we extend warm welcome to you, sir, Dr. Nirmal Chandra Roy. Now the session is all yours. You can kindly take over, and the mic, the screen is all belongs to you now.
Thank you, Devartidi. Am I audible?
Yes, Nirmal, you are audible.
So I have a request because I'm residing in my quarter, right? So see the condition and my camera's for condition.
It's okay. It's perfect. No problem.
Good. So with your default,
No problem. No
I
problem.
would like to stop my camera. So at the outset, I would like to extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to the organizer of this ABP at the Salesian College, Siliguri, for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts. Talk about the theme, impacts of online mode of education on the conventional system in the domain of higher education. It is not only timely, but it has also good relevance in the current academic landscape. And I am really honored to be a part of this intellectual gathering. And thank to the conveners, thank to the coordinators, and respected faculty members for inviting me to contribute to this impactful discussion. So let me share my screen so that I can share my PowerPoint presentation. Is it visible now, Didi? Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Yes, sir, visible, sir.
It's visible, sir.
yes.
Thank you. So as per the theme that I have been assigned by the coordinator that is on legal, ethical, and data privacy issues in online education. So this is the brief outline of my presentation. First of all, I'll be talking about the online education, and then I'll be discussing on the evolution of online education. Then I'll come to the main theme. Three themes I have been assigned: legal, ethical, and privacy issues. And lastly, I'll be showing my own research works. I have done my few research works, especially related to the themes. So if time permits, I'll be showing and I'll be sharing my research work with you. So as far as our Indian population is concerned, we are at now about 1.42 billion populations. And it is a matter of pride that we are one of the largest digital societies in this world. As of 2025, few days back, I have gone through article. In India, nearly 900 million individuals are active internet users. The percentage is 63%, about 63%. It is very surprising to know that out of this 63% active internet users in India, more than 55% are the residents of rural India. And this deep digital penetration forms the socio-technological foundation upon which online education has flourished. This is one of the reasons behind the flourishing of online education in India. It is important to recognize that online education is not only technological intervention. It also provides, as a part of in terms of access, in terms of quality, in terms of regulation, in terms of inclusivity, and in terms of equity. For many learners, the first sustained encounters with online education occurred during COVID-19 pandemic. However, the roots of digital education in India extends back several decades, though earlier experiments with correspondence learning, educational broadcasting, and ICT-based enable initiatives. Though, as far as the other developed countries, as I can remember, the University of Toronto in the year 1986, first in this world, they have started their online educations. So in India, many of us, we are experiencing this online education from COVID-19 onwards. Especially, I am the real example, because before that, I never think of it about the online education. But COVID-19, I have experienced by COVID-19 of online education. So now I'll be talking about historical evolution of the online education in India. So as far as the evolution of online education in India is concerned, so it can be of 6 phases. The first phase is known as your correspondence and broadcast learning. Actually, this is the pre-phase. This is called pre-phase. And second phase, it is known as ICT integration in higher education in during 2000 to 2010. And third phase is known as rise of digital platforms during 2010 to 2015. The fourth phase during 2015 to 2019, it is known as Digital India Acceleration. the fifth phase during 2020 to 2022. That's we all are much familiar. So this is known as COVID-19 pandemic phase, and the last phase, that is the post COVID-19. This is the duration of it. 2022 to at present, right? And this phase is also regarded as hybrid and AI enabled learning. So talk about the first phase during pre-2020s. Key developments in this during this phase were establishment of IGNU in the year 1985. IGNU, as we know that it's playing a pivotal role in case of correspondence and distance learning in India. Then Gyan Darshan, it was set up in 2000. It is a television channel dedicated to education launched by IGNU and Ministry of Human Resources Development. And in the year 2021, Gyanvani, actually, this is one of the FM radio network for educational broadcasting. So during this phase, this correspondence and broadcasting learning, there were many limitations, but important one was that one-to-one or one-way communications. I mean, one directional flow of informations with minimum learner and teacher interactions. Talk about the second phase. Second phase is regarded as the ICT integrations in higher education. So key development during this phase takes place EduSat in the year 2004. This was the India's first satellite dedicated to exclusively to education. Then in the year 2009, National Mission on Education through ICT focused on e-learning content and university connectivity. The most important significance of this phase, second phase, is that this period demonstrated India's early recognition of transformative potential of information and communication technology in education well before the mass adoption of smartphone. Now talk about the third phase. Third phase, the duration was 2010, between 2010 and 2015. So this is the actual point of time of race of digital platforms. So during this phase, NTPL, National Program on Technology Leadership. I mean, this is one of the IIT leads initiative delivering online engineering and science courses. And in 2017, actually, SWAYAM, it was initiated by the government, and during that time, the many private edutech company established, like your Baizu in the year 2011, Topper. Another one was your Vedantu in 2014, then On Academy 2015. So these were the private edutech companies emerged during this third phase. I mean, in between 2010 to 2015. Talk about the fourth phase in between 2015 to 2019. This phase is known as the Digital India Acceleration. In this phase, Digital India Mission in the year 2015, Digital India Mission, then Swayam Prabha in the year 2017. Talk about Swayam Prabha. Actually, there are 32 DTH channels for 24/7 education. Then during this phase, NDL, National Digital Library of India, it was established, it was set up and in 2016, and Diksha, a digital platform for school education. It was set up in 2017. So what are the contributions of these digital missions, Swayamprabha, NDL, Diksha? The key contribution of these were creation of robust infrastructure that later provided indispensable during the COVID-19 pandemic. Then we'll come to the fifth phase. This is very famous, and this is very well known to us because the duration was 2020 to 2022 during COVID-19 pandemic. So during this time, complete transformation of classrooms into virtual space, like that's what we are using. That is Zoom platforms, Google Meets, Microsoft Team, etc. During this tenure, during this phase, exponential growth of edutech companies such as Unacademy, Vedantu, Byju's have been followed. Large scale adoption of online systems, which, however, raised concerns of privacy, surveillance, and fairness during this time. Talk about the last phase, 2022 to present. This is known as your hybrids and AI powered learning. So in this phase, education increasingly delivered in blended modes, combining offline and online learnings. So NEP 2020, as all of we are aware of it, right? So the features of the key features of NEP 2020, like your credit transfer, multidisciplinary learning, online, offline, blended modes. So these have been designed keeping in mind this phase. Then emerging technologies like your AI, adaptive learning systems, and shift is focused from rote learning to skills, lifelong learning, and employability. Now I'll be talking about government initiatives. I have already talked about the government initiatives. Government have initiated SWAYAM, NTPL, Diksha, PM eVidya, and NDL. But the surprising fact is that as of January 2025, in the SWAYAM platform, 4.21 million enrollments have been observed. 1.11 million exam registrations have been observed, and 6,35,000 certificates have been issued by this platform. Similarly, NPTEL, as per the latest statistics, 6.40 million enrollments have been observed, and 4.14 million exam registrations have been observed. Now, talk about the private edutech market outlook. So this is really a matter of surprise to all of us that the developing country like India, in India, around 70%, sorry, 80%, I may be wrong, 80% residents or people are using mobile phone, and 64% of them having internet connectivity. But in spite of these challenges, the private edutech companies, they capture the markets, and obviously we are the beneficiaries of this online mode of educations. So what are the reasons behind this behind these activities? So first of all, Digital India initiative. As we know that our government has taken several initiatives to improve or to enhance our digital infrastructure as well as connectivity, then affordable internet and smartphones. So low-cost data plans and wide smartphone penetration in the markets. Next is your COVID-19 pandemic. As we know that it was kind of external forced. As because of that, all of us have been experienced of online education. Then next one is your NEP 2020 reforms. So national education policy emphasized that key technology-driven learning should be there, and it should be blended mode. I mean, online and offline mode should be there, and skill-based learning demand. So industry-driven need for reskilling and upskilling. Your initiatives has been taken by the governments as part of your NEP 2020. As because of that, so these are the reasons. As because of that, demand of online education has been as much as we are experiencing as of now. Just a minute. Now I'll be moving to the second part of my presentation. I'll become to the main part of my presentation, that is legal, ethical, and privacy issues of online education. So first of all, I'll be discussing on the legal issues of online education. Online education has developed the process knowledge, the way knowledge is delivered and consumed with platforms such as SWAYAM, Unacademy, Khan Academy, and the LMS, University Learning Management System. Education has become more accessible and flexible. However, this digital shift has raised significant legal challenges related to intellectual property, data protection, contractual obligations, in terms of equality also, in terms of consumer protection rights also. So courts and regulatory authorities worldwide, including in case of our India, University Grant Commissions, DEF, AICTE, have been grappling with legal frameworks to regulate online learning effectively. So the issues that I have presented here, the first issue is your intellectual property right. So under intellectual property right, there are mainly three issues that I have studied, that I have studied. That the first one is your ownership of digital contents. Second issue is that unauthorized copying, piracy, or distribution of online content. And third issue is use of copyrighted materials by teachers without proper licensing. So there are many examples of it. Many YouTube educational channels, they face copyright strikes for using copyrighted music, copyrighted image, then copyrighted video, snapshots, and many more. In our in our teaching community, faculty members many times uploads copyrighted journal articles or textbook chapters on the LMS without permission from the publisher. So these are some of the violations in the eyes of law. So what should be done? What are the remedy? What are the how we can avoid it? Firstly, we can from the part of the institutions, or institutions should implement copyright policies and train faculty members on fair use of such materials. Secondly, licensing agreements with publishers, and adoption of Creative Commons license, CCL, for open access resources. And lastly, digital rights management tools are some of the preventive measures in the hand of the institutions, so that the issue related with the intellectual property rights can be avoided to some extent. Second issue, that is data privacy and protection. And the key issues under these are, first of all, collection of sensitive personal data such as name, age, phone number, bibliometric informations, and all. Secondly, risk of data breaches and hacking of learning management system. Thirdly, compliance with global and national data protection laws. There are many examples of that, of these data protection cases. Like in 2020, a popular online learning app suffered data breaches. As a result of that, 77 million users were suffered. So what are the remedies? How can we avoid this kind of challenges? First of all, strict compliance with Digital Personal Data Protection Act. In case of India, there is a specific act in India. It was enacted in the year 2023, if I am not wrong. The act name is Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023. So if institute can comply, make strict compliance of it, so to some extent, this kind of violation, this kind of issues could be avoided. Secondly, use of limiting online proctoring to non-invasive methods. So these are some of the methods by which these issues can be avoided. Thirdly, contractual obligations and consumer rights. So here in this case, who are the consumers? So obviously students are the consumer in our case, right? So what are the issues under these contractual obligations and consumer rights? The first issue is that students pay for online courses that may not meet promised standards, like poor content, lack of accreditation, etc. Then misleading advertisements by edutech companies. This is very common nowadays, because every business, there is a competition in the market. So to capture the markets, right? So they are misleading the target audience or the target customers, right? So next one is your unclear refund and cancellation policies. So how this can be avoided? First of all, make clear-cut terms and conditions and refund policies. Clear-cut terms and conditions, terms of service, and refund policies. Next, maybe consumer courts and regulatory bodies must actively monitor unfair practices, like in terms of your advertisements, that many private edutech companies, not the private edutech companies, I'm not going to harm the sentiments of the teachers and students and others. The private B schools also, many times they are misleading in their advertisements. They don't have capacity, but in spite of that, they're spreading the information in such a way that they're having such capacities, maybe in terms of lab, in terms of playground, in terms of students' benefits, in terms of placement, so and so and so. So this kind of practice should be stopped by the I mean, tech companies as well as the maybe private universities or private B schools and private educational institutes. Next one, accreditation and equality of access. So the key issues under these, first of all, many online degrees and diplomas are not recognized by national regulatory bodies, but in spite of that, the educational institutes, they're utterly saying that they're advertising in such a way that they're whatever the degrees, whatever the education they are providing, this is accredited by X, Y, Z organizations. And nowadays, there is a fashion everywhere. NAC A++ accredited universities. I don't know. I don't know what and how they are using this kind of misleading informations, right? What are the remedies of it? Students must verify the consumers, the customers, in this case, student. So student must verify approval from UGC depth for online courses, whether this the courses or the university or the institute from where they want to enroll themselves, they must have to verify the approval status, right? Next is your employers and regulators must create transparent guidelines for recognitions. Next, your legal issue is that employment and cyber security. So under this, the issues are digital divide excludes students from rural areas. Sorry, employment in terms of your employment related issues. So many private universities and many private institutes, they are paying very less amount to the right? Hello? Is there something wrong? Hello?
Sir, audible, sir. You continue, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So I was talking about your employment and cybersecurity. So online tutors, especially the faculty members, often face exploitations in terms of low pay, in terms of your no or less social security, in terms of your contractual uncertainty that is prevailed, especially in the private sectors, right? And how to avoid this kind of issues? First of all, in India, as you know that as far as your labor laws are concerned, so Indian Labor Code reforms 2020 extends protections to gig workers, potentially covering online educators. So as far as this labor law reforms is concerned, so there were previously about 35 to 40 labor legislations. These have been clapped together, and as of now, there are four broad codes, labor codes have been framed. The first labor code is known as your working hours related code. Second is your wage related code. Third is your industrial relation related code, and fourth is your social security related code. It doesn't mean it is like your factor analysis. In case of your factor analysis, what do? We club all the factors, sorry, all the variables into many manageable factors. So labor code reforms, while the experts, they have reformed the labor legislation, so they have applied the similar concept. They have clubbed together around 35 to 40 labor legislations, labor laws into four manageable codes. However, so minimum wage and social security laws should be applied in case of your faculty members, in case of your edutech company, in case of your private business private concerns, so that there should not be any kind of exploitations in terms of dissemination of your online educations. Next is your next one is your taxation and AI bias. Taxation and AI bias. So GST disputes in India across border taxation. I also sometimes get confused that what are the, logic behind double taxation. So, however, the regulatory authorities should look into it so that this kind of taxation policies to be avoided. So these are some of the legal issues, and beyond that, I have not incorporated in my PowerPoint presentations. Next is your online examination malpractices and protecting. This is one of the issue. And next issue can be your freedom of speech and academic expression. Next is your so these are some of the legal issues the online education or online education system in India have been experiencing. Now I'm going to share the second part of my third part of my presentation, that is your ethical issues. So as far as the ethical issues concerned, so as we came to know that the rapid expansion of online education has created new opportunities for learning, but has also raised several ethical challenges. Unlike your traditional classroom settings, the digital learning environments involves unique issues around fairness, inclusivity, privacy, and integrity. Below are some of the ethical issues. The first such issue is that rapid the first one is your yes, this one, academic integrity and cheating. So academic dishonesty is one of the most significant and most prevalent ethical challenge in online education. Students may use unauthorized resources during online exams, share answers through different apps as of now, or even hire someone who take their test, right? So this kind of test is known as your contract cheating. That is a nomenclature, right? Contract cheating. So this undermines the credibility of degrees and trust in educational institutions. So what are the remedies? How this could be avoided? First of all, AI protecting or use of AI enables a system to or tools to detect suspicious activities. Secondly, designing open book, case study based, application based assessments instead of rote memorization test. Next, maybe creating strict, strict actions and raising awareness about the academic integrity. So these are some of the strategies by which these unethical, obviously unethical issues could be avoided or eroded to some extent. Next is your digital divide and inequality. Not all students have equal access to digital devices, stable internet, or quiet learning environments. So this creates an ethical concern of the fairness and inclusivity. Students from rural or low-income backgrounds may be disadvantaged compared to urban students with better infrastructure, right? So considering these issues, there is inequality. So we know that in some part of Bihar and some part of Jharkhand, not even Bihar and Jharkhand, the case is also in case of the district, your close district Jalpaiguri and Alipurduar. Many of the students during COVID-19, they have been they were the worst sufferer as because of your internet access. Many part of Darjeeling hill areas, many part of the your remote areas of Jalpaiguri district, like in and around your Gorumara National Forest and in and around that part of Totopada, right? You can imagine, because we have some sort of experience, because we may have some visits in this part of this, as because of the natural beauty. So we have experienced some that the conditions. I mean to say that the infrastructure, internet infrastructure. So now it is 2025. Actually, I am from Jalpaiguri. I am from close to Gorumara. While I am at my home, I am also facing many problems. If few days back, I was there in my home and I could not attend many of my meeting as because of poor internet access. So I'm talking about the case of 2025. So you can imagine the case of 2020, 5 years back, right? So how to solve these issues? So government schemes like first of all, internet infrastructure to be developed. Then second one, maybe you're creating hybrid models where recorded lectures can be accessed without high internet speeds. Then institutions provide devices and offline learning materials so that this kind of issues, inequality issues in terms of your infrastructure could be avoided in terms of your or to make the online mode of learning successful. Next issue is your privacy and data protection. So online education platforms collect large amount of personal data such as names, as you know, no? Login details, address, even your biometric data through kind of software. So if misleaded, this data can be misused or can be leaked, so raising unethical and legal concerns. How to solve these issues? So strong data protection policies aligned with your Digital Personal Data Protection Act. I talked earlier in India, a particular act has been enacted in the year 2023, that is Digital Personal Data Protection Act. So with the help of this kind of acts, right? So this kind of issues could be avoided, and there should be transparency regarding data collection and use of data. That's your at the time of, as far as the collection of data is concerned, at the time of collection of data, right, due consideration should be given, or the formats or the requirement is to be designed in such a way so that only the necessary data to be collected from the students or the respondent, whatever it is. So by these kind of issues could be solved. Next is your quality and credibility of online teachers or teacher concerns or educator. Many online courses are designed quickly without proper quality checks. Some platforms prioritize profits over your syllabus, raising ethical concerns about misleading advertisements and false promises. Right. In this case, the best example that I have studied that several Indian edutech companies have faced a lot of criticism for selling expensive courses to parents by falsely claiming that granted job placement, quote unquote, right? So how to avoid this, right? So third party accreditation for online programs should be there. Second one, transparent disclosure of success rates and placement statistics should be there, should be displayed in their official websites, so that the persons who will access it, they can easily observe it. Next is your strict monitoring by regulatory bodies such as your, in case of India, your UGC, your Directorate, Distance Education Bureau, their policies should be implemented. Next is your IP and mental health. IP and mental health. So intellectual intellectual property copyright, as I talked earlier, it is one of the unethical practice that it is the common practice of the teachers that we copy something and we upload it maybe in the website of that concerned institute without having prior permissions. So this kind of issues or this kind of practices should be avoided. So how to avoid this kind of practices? This kind of practices can be avoided taking the proper your no objection certificates from the publishers, maybe from the content developer, right? As well as your student mental health. It is one of the important concern, because we cannot pressurize students to sit for a longer period of time in front of the computer screen or maybe in front of the online courses, right? So this could be avoided with the help of interactive methods, so student can feel free at the time of receiving the educations or lectures from the teachers, right? So these are some of the strategies. With the help of that, this could be avoided. Just a second. Next ethical issues, that cultural or ethical sensitivity. So in terms of your sensitivity, right? Online education often brings together students from diverse backgrounds, content or teaching methods that ignore cultural diversity may lead to bias, stereotyping, or insensitivity. So in this case, for this kind of issues, incorporating cultural diverse case studies and examples, training teachers in cross-cultural communications, building inclusive curriculum that respects diversity. So with the help of this kind of sensitivity, cultural and ethical sensitivity to be avoided. Next, what to do, right? Transparency in assessment and feedback system. So fair grading should be provided in, as far as your ethical, ethics is concerned in case of your online education, fair grading system should be there. Then your digital wellness is one of them, balance screen time. So as I talked earlier, then the teacher-student boundary that should be reduced, right? And appropriate use of learning management systems. And in case of the second, maybe next maybe your language. So multiple language to be incorporated at the time of developing the e-contents, right? So these are some of the strategies. With the help of that, we can avoid the ethical issues while delivering the online educations. And last one is your privacy concern. So the rapid adoption of online learning and edutech platforms have modernized education by making it more accessible and flexible. However, it also poses significant data privacy concerns. Learners, often minors especially, are bound to share their personal as well as sensitive informations, and institutions face challenges in securing such data. So under these data privacy issues in online education, the first privacy is that excessive data collection. So as I told earlier that the required data to be collected only, because many edutech platforms and schools collect data beyond what is necessary. So such as other numbers, parental income details, demographic profiles, or biometric scans for authentications, right? So while basic informations like name, enrollment ID, marks may be essential, but in spite of that, what are the purpose of collecting information such as your parental incomes, demographic profile, bibliometric scans, other, and so, right? So it violates the principle of data minimization under the Digital Personal Protection Act. For minors especially, excessive surveillance without proper consent is also an ethical violations. Some Indian universities, as far as I know, some Indian universities, the practice also prevailed with my universities also. My university authority during that time, during that time of COVID-19, they have instructed us the student must have to show their that Aadhaar card or voter card in front of the camera, right? And by virtue of that, they will be allowed to sit for examinations, right? So this sparked debates on privacy and exclusion of students without Aadhaar. So institutes should adopt data minimization policies. They collect only what is required for educational purpose, privacy impact assessments and explicit consent mechanisms with that of your parental oversight for minors must be implemented. Next is your insecure use of data breaches, insecure storage of data breaches. So weak cybersecurity practices make educational platforms vulnerable to the breaches. A breach that comprises sensitive details such as email IDs, such as your password, such as your even banking data linked to fee payments. So in the case of minors, if you talk about the minors, right, leaks create long-term digital risk since children cannot fully understand or they cannot control their digital footprints. In India, in 2020, a case was there with An Academy, one of the edutech startup, right? So as a result of that, about 22 million users of it, they were the worst sufferer, right? So platforms, such kind of platforms, such kind of edutech platforms, they must adopt end-to-end policies, multi-factor authentications, and strict data retention policies. Institutions should also conduct regular penetration tests and they should comply with some kind of security advisories by the appropriate authorities. As because of that, this kind of issues, privacy issues, would be avoided. Next privacy concern is your unclear third-party data sharing. So many online platforms, they mostly depends on third-party vendors for analytics, for your hosting, for advertising, and such kind of activities. So students and teachers are often unaware of who access their data. Such sharing not only illegal, such sharing violates informed consent principles. Such sharing violates informed consent principles. Data could be used or profiling, targeted ads, or marketing. So institutions risk penalties under that 2023 Act, I mean DP Act, if they fail to disclose partnership. So how to avoid this? Edutech firms or online platform education providers, they must provide clear privacy notes listing third-party data processors. Then they can contracts with third parties should include data protection clauses. Students must have the right to opt out of non-essential sharing. Next, privacy concern is your recording and redistribution of lectures. In this case, the prime issue is that online classes are recorded for convenience but stored indefinitely for a longer period of time, sometimes without the consent of the maybe teachers, maybe the lecturers, right? So unauthorized circulation violates the faculty members' intellectual property rights and also students' privacy. I mean, if it is video recorded, contain, then some sort of your face, kind of voices, kind of personal questions, this could be leaked out, right? Long-term storage creates risk of misuse for commercial or some other purposes. So how to what are the strategies? Institutions, they should define time-bound retention policies. They may make agreements with the teachers or faculty concerned that this should be stored or this should be disseminated to this particular span, or this would be delivered to these participants or these students only, right? So access should be restricted. Such kind of videos, such kind of materials, or such kind of contents, access should be restricted to unauthenticated users only. However, next is your next, how to minimize. However, there are many other points. I think time is there, right? So cyberbullying and Zoom bombing. There is a particular term that is known as your Zoom bombing, right? Actually, unauthorized entry into online classes, right? So this particular kind of event or this kind of activities is regarded as Zoom bombing, right? So this kind of unauthorized entry or this kind of incidents exploits weak security as because of open links, as because of no passwords. So they harm students psychologically. They undermine the teaching learning process, and sometimes involve kind of your hate speech or child exploitation materials, right? So how to avoid this? Platforms should enforce, maybe if possible, waiting rooms, strong passwords, and host controls. For this purpose, institutions must implement cyberbullying prevention policies and provide reporting mechanisms for the victims. Next concern is your cross-border data transfer. Cross-border data transfer. So this is especially the case of many edutech companies or edutech platforms host data on service outside India, right? So this create data concern. It is a kind of breach occurs abroad. India, sorry, maybe in Indian users may struggle to enforce their rights. So that particular act of 2020 empowers the Indian government to regulate cross-border transfer, but enforcement remains very, very weak. So how to but what are the remedies of it? Encourage data localization policies, host data within India, and ensure contractual safeguards with foreign vendors. So these are some of the remedies by which cross-border data sharing to be protected. Next, maybe your digital divide and privacy awareness gap. Privacy awareness gap. So many of the times, students and parents often lack awareness of privacy rights and consent mechanisms. So this kind of asymmetry follows edutech firms to exploit their users through lengthy privacy policies and take it there is a particular nomenclature in this case: take it or leave it, take it or leave it. So this kind of lengthy privacy policies agreement that firms to exploit users, right? So low income families are especially vulnerable, leading to consent fatigue and inequality. So what are the remedies of it? Conduct digital literacy programs in schools, simplify privacy policies into child-friendly formats. Regulators should require plain language disclosures for minors. So these are some of the privacy concerns as far as the online education is concerned. So these are the overall remedies of the privacy concerns. First of all, data minimization, as I have discussed, then strong cybersecurity, ethical assessment, transparency, limited storage, then digital literacy, policy support, right? So now I'm going to show my research on online educations. This is somehow related with my research, so that's why I'm very interested to show my research, how I have conducted my research, right? And then who were the respondents, how I have collected data. Just allow me a few seconds. Actually, the article has been published, but I have limited access of my publication, so that's why I'm showing the proof, right? It is not in a published form, it is a proof, right? So the topic of my research was impact of COVID-19 on students learning, an empirical study in India. Talk about the methodology of this article, objective and methodology that I have followed. So in the meantime, I must share that this article has been published in a Scopus indexed journal, and also your ABDC graded journal. Okay. So these are the objective of my study. The first objective was to unveil the determinants of online learning for students during COVID-19. So I have especially emphasized on online learning during the COVID-19. So first objective was to identify the factors or to unveil the determinants of online learning for students during COVID-19. And second objective was to assess the impact of online learning on students' education. So talk about the methodology. Actually, it was conducted during the time of COVID-19. So questionnaire was questionnaire. I mean, in this case, questionnaire I have disseminated through Google Form, and initially I have targeted 1,000 students. Right. I have taken into considerations only the master's level of students, right, in government as well as private universities and institutions. They were my participants, and they told 1,000 questionnaires were distributed. And however, initially I have got 584. Just one second, let me enlarge it. 584 complete response I have received, and so this was my sample size. So the sample size well fitted as per feature and all, right? So in order to achieve the first objective of my paper, that was to identify the determinants of students' online learning, right? So initially, I have prepared a questionnaire. So in the questionnaire, I have placed 19 variables. So variables were identified from the extensive review of existing literatures. And I have measured them in a Likert 5-point scales. The study was conducted during June 2021 to December 2022, right? So as per the based on nature of the objective, right? I have applied factor analysis to identify the factors of online education. And secondly, the second objective was to just let me step back. So the second objective was to assess the impact of online learning on students' education, right? So for this purpose, I have applied multiple regressions. So my plan was, first of all, to identify the determinants or the factors of online education, right, during COVID-19. And secondly, I suppose to assess the impacts of online learning. So online learning in this case was my dependent variable, and the identified factors. I have identified few factors as a result of factor analysis. So these were my independent variables, right? So however, this was the brief methodology I have applied for this paper, and the result was very interesting. So these are the profile of the respondents in my survey. In my survey, out of 584, 317 male participants participated, and female participation was 267. So male participation was more, around 55, followed by your female participations, and branches of educations, right? So in my survey, most of the students were MBA, because I'm a faculty member of MBA department. So I had a connection with the teachers of many private colleges and universities. As a result of that, I have disseminated the questions. So this is a true fact. As a result of that, majority of the respondents' qualification is your MBA. Then followed by it MCA, then hotel management. So mainly I have distributed questions in professional courses, MBA, MCA, hotel management, masters in tourism management, and MTech also. However, so respondents, 40% responded. I mean, majority of the respondents, they were residents of semi-urban, and these are the results, right? So first of all, as I talked, 19 variables initially I have identified, right? So this is the Cronenberg alpha result. It was good, and so I have conducted factor analysis. 5 factors. The results, I have got 5 factors. Right. So this is how I have explored the factors. So this is that's why I have done your exploratory 5 factor analysis. And to assess the impact, secondly, to assess the impact as far as your second objective is concerned, to assess the impact of identified factor on online learning as a whole, I have, as I told, I have used your multiple regression analysis. So in these where the factors, the factors name where there was like this. I mean, I have provided, we know that, key how to conduct factor analysis. So these are the factors, 5 factors, right? Instructor supports, I mean, factors, right? Then your technology availability, then your virtual interactions, then attention, then course structure. So these are the 5 factors. So 5 factors in the second instance, these 5 factors will be my independent variables, and dependent variable will be my that's online education, right? So this is the result. This is the result of multiple regressions. So the adjusted R-square value is quite high. It's 0.809, right? Adjusted R-square value, and it is also significant. However, these are the 5 independent factors, and this is their corresponding coefficient. Ultimately, this is the study. This is how I have conducted. And my second study, just I'm going to show you that that has published in a Q1 journal recently, published by Emerald Publications. Just once. So this one, the latest one, unlocking the title is Unlocking the Power of AI in Education, Students' Intentions and AI Tool Use Driving Learning Success in an Emerging Economy. So actually, this study has been conducted jointly with me and some of the professors from Bangladesh. So interestingly, we have collected data for the purpose of this study across India and Bangladesh, right? So in this case, in this study, the same pattern has been followed in terms of methodology, but here we have used your CFA, confirmatory factor analysis. I mean, for this purpose, we have applied structural equation modeling. So these are my 2 articles related to the topic. However, with this, I'm over into the session with Debarati Di. Hello.
Yes, Nirmal.
Yes, please, Didi. Over to you, Didi.
Okay, so you are done with the
Yes,
session,
yes.
right?
Oh,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So, dear participants, if anyone has to ask any question, then kindly raise your hand, or you can type also in the chat box. We are not left with much time. It's only 7 minutes left. So, if you can ask shorter questions that we can finish off within time. So, kindly please ask. You can either raise your hand, unmute and ask, or you can also type in the chat box. I repeat, if anyone want to ask any question or any observation, any feedback, anything, if anyone wants to share, kindly do so. Okay, I think everyone is tired and feeling sleepy maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, regarding evaluation, sir, evaluation will be done at the end. That means on 26th, evaluation will be done. Where there will be 1 hour session on evaluation where we will be sharing MCQ questions, and you have to do it from the ATAL portal itself. So we will guide you on that during that time only. So don't worry about that. For the time being, we shall be sharing the PPTs of the esteemed resource persons so that you can prepare accordingly every day. And from there only, from the PPTs or the contents shared by the resource persons during the sessions, from those portions only, the MCQs will be set. So whenever you're attending sessions, kindly be very attentive, because from here only the questions of evaluation on the last day of the FDP will be asked. And you have to score a minimum percentage that I will inform you. Maybe tomorrow I'll share all the details with you regarding the evaluation so that you can start preparing early. And regarding attendance, some participants are raising queries regarding attendance. So your attendance gets automatically recorded as present in the ATAL portal. But if anyone is not attending the session, then we will mark them absent. We can do that. So we will see the recording, and right now also I can see on my screen who are all absent. So the absent ones will be marked as absent. Rest, all of you who are present have already been marked as present in the ATAL portal. So, okay, Dr. Roy, thank you for a very valuable session. The participants, I'm sure they have enjoyed it. They have took quite meaningful insights, and I'm sure the contents you shared are really going to be helpful for their career. Thank you so much, Nirmal, once again.
Thanks all. Good night.
Thank you for accepting our invitation also, and also joining so late. I know you do this by whenever I call you, you never deny. Thank you so much for that. Thank you always.
You're most welcome, Didi.
Thank you. Okay, dear participants, good night to all of you. See you tomorrow. Regarding tomorrow's session, one of the sessions will be conducted during the morning time. You can refer to the schedules. One of the sessions that will be taken by our Reverend Father Dr. Babu Joseph, Principal of
Ma'am, mornings we have classes, ma'am.
Yeah, but ma'am, you have to manage somehow, because the session, the schedule has been approved by ATAL, so we cannot change it. That is the issue.
Okay.
So if you can, it is online, if you can just keep it on and put on a headphone or something, if you can do, or substitute the class and then attend it. It's 1 hour only. It won't be much time. Like today we had 1.5 hour sessions, but tomorrow's morning session will only be 1 hour.
So how many hours per morning? Only one
Sorry?
session?
Sorry?
Excuse me. Tomorrow morning at what time?
No. Tomorrow morning there is one session starting from 10 and will go till 11 a.m. And in the evening there is one more session that is starting at 7:30 p.m. From 7:30 to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Please refer
Okay.
to the schedule
Thank you.
shared in the WhatsApp group
Okay.
for the details. Yeah.
Anyway, we have we have a class. Okay. Anyway, we will manage.
Ma'am, we have
Pardon, sir. Can you
exams.
please repeat? Okay, if you have any
Tomorrow we
issues,
have an exam, ma'am.
please
We have an
message
exam,
me,
ma'am.
sir. Please message
Tomorrow
me.
we
Your
have an
voice is
exam.
breaking.
Devarati, I think sir is
Okay.
asking if tomorrow we have an exam. Tomorrow we do not have an exam. The exam is on the last day.
No, I think he's telling about his exams. Or sir, could you please message me? I will reply you. I'll clarify your doubts. Okay, dear participants, good night. Have a good sleep. See you tomorrow.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Devarati. Thank you to Patrick.
Everyone, good night, everyone. You can message in the WhatsApp group if you have anything to share. Thank you.
Ruti banai, bam bam banai.